Okay, let's dive right in. We're about to break down a really powerful strategy for building wealth through real estate, and it's based on a philosophy that honestly challenges pretty much everything you've ever been told about buying a house. This is the blueprint. So let's kick things off with a pretty provocative idea. What if I told you that the traditional dream home, the one you save up for, stretch your budget to the absolute limit for, and then spend the next 30 years paying off, what if that's actually the single biggest thing holding people back from true financial freedom? And this slide really lays out the two ways of looking at it. On one hand, you have the traditional path, which basically turns your house into a giant expensive liability, a parking lot for your money. But on the other hand, you have the house hack path. And this transforms your home into an active asset, a real wealth creation engine that actually puts money in your pocket. All right, so let's get into the very first and maybe the most important strategy: live for free. This is the concept the entire system is built on. It's where it all begins. You know, the idea is actually incredibly simple, but it is so powerful. Instead of buying a regular single-family house, you buy a property with multiple units, like a duplex or a triplex. You live in one of the units yourself, and your tenants in the other units, they pay rent that covers most or maybe even all of your mortgage. This is the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about. Now let's look at the actual numbers, because this is where the magic happens. Let's say your mortgage is $2,400 a month. If you buy a single-family home, well, you're paying that full $2,400. But for the exact same mortgage payment, if you buy a duplex and get $1,500 in rent from your neighbor, boom, your personal housing costs just dropped from $2,400 all the way down to $900. You just cut your biggest expense by more than half. And that difference, that $1,500 every single month, that's not just savings. That is capital. That's fuel for your wealth engine. It's money you can now use to save, invest, or even better, put towards your next property. This is how you start the snowball rolling downhill. Okay, so once you've got that first hack down and you've been living for next to nothing for a couple of years, it's time for hack number 2. This is where you go from just saving money to actually building a real portfolio of cash flowing assets. Now, this is absolutely crucial. The temptation is going to be to take your winnings from that first property and go buy that big luxury dream home. You have to resist that urge. Instead, you get strategic. Your second property is what we call the bridge house. It's your bridge from a one-time trick to a legitimate portfolio. So, here's the game plan. You do not sell that first property. No way. You keep it, and you turn the unit you were living in into another rental. It's now a pure cash machine. Then you go buy your next property, maybe a triplex this time, and you just repeat the process. You're now living for cheap again while building equity in 2 properties at the same time. And this brings us to hack number 3. This is how you put the pedal to the metal. It's called the BRRR method. It stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. The real genius here is you find a property that needs a little love, you fix it up, forcing the value way up, and then you refinance based on that new higher value. And that lets you pull your original investment right back out. And that's the holy grail right there. The goal of the BRRRR method is to end up owning a high-performing, cash-flowing asset with little or ideally none of your own money left in the deal. Your capital is now free. You can recycle it into the next property and the next and the next. This is how you scale a portfolio fast without needing millions of dollars sitting in the bank. Now, building a portfolio like this, it takes more than just smart tactics. It requires a fundamental shift in how you think. And this next hack, think like a CEO, is really what separates the serious investors from the average homeowners. You have to stop making emotional decisions and start making analytical business decisions. See, a homeowner walks in and asks, "Do I love it? Ooh, does it have granite countertops?" A real estate CEO asks, "What's my cash-on-cash return? What are the numbers? What's my exit plan?" Your property is an asset on a balance sheet, not a shrine to your personal taste. And you should write this one down. Your emotions are the single biggest tax on your wealth-building journey. The second you fall in love with a property for how it looks instead of how it performs, you risk turning a great asset into what the source material calls a money-eating monster. Just don't pay the emotional tax. So all of this leads to the ultimate goal, the golden rule. Your assets should fund your lifestyle, not your job. The idea is your day job pays for your investments, and then your investments pay for your life. That's real financial freedom. All right, the final hack, and this one is so important because it recognizes a simple truth. Real estate is a team sport. If you really want to scale, you can't, and you shouldn't try to do this all by yourself. The whole idea of the lone wolf real estate genius, it's a total myth. Your job is to be the CEO, the one who assembles and leads an all-star team of experts. In this business, your network truly is your net worth. And this is your essential team, your brain trust. You need a creative mortgage broker who can find financing, an investor-friendly agent who brings you off-market deals, a great attorney, a contractor you trust with your life, and a CPA who gets real estate. This is the team that's going to help you grow. So let's bring it all home. We're going to do a quick flyby of the entire blueprint, putting all 5 of these powerful hacks together. And there it is, the 5 steps that create a complete system for success. You start by living for free. You build your portfolio with a strategic bridge house. You scale up fast using the BRRR method. You run it all with the mindset of a CEO. And you surround yourself with a powerful brain trust. So ultimately, this is the question you really need to ask yourself. This whole thing, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And it all starts with that one simple decision to think differently about what a house is really for. So, are you just buying a place to live, or are you building a business that will fund your future?